Well, welcome back. We're picking up kind of where we left off. I moved around because I was doing some questing. I did my dailies, basically. So welcome back. And now we get to continue on our little journey over yonder. Do you see that spider hanging on that tree? What? I hate it.
By Mora's many eyes.
Okay, well, I expressed my displeasure over that, and now we're all better.
Someday you'll make something surprising with that.
Thanks. How do I get over there? Do I just swim? Am I gonna get ate by fishies? There's that boss right there. The way they control it when you go out of boundaries is that they put flesh-eating like piranhas in the water. And you very quickly learn to get your butt out of the water to back up. Definitely interesting creatures in this new land. This way. I do not like the new look of the UI. I really don't. I'm hoping that someone adds a mod, an add-on that I can revert it back. It looks so plain. I don't like it. Alright, there's go this way. I know I saw someone comment that they made it more modern, but why? Why? I should also mention I am having some bugs with some of my add-ons. They are waiting for updates. And so if you see a weird pop-up, I will try to edit around it, but there's going to be a weird pop-up here and there depending on what I'm doing. That very kindly reminds me that my AIs are, or that my add-ons are not working. Is that going to hurt? No. Butters, butters. Is that Godzilla? It's a lizard bear. He's itching his back. Guess who's gonna whine about this?
Distasteful.
No. Okay, this was a bigger walk than I thought it was gonna be.
How do you drive this thing?
Very, very carefully, Xander.
It's pleasant when the environmental and geographic elements of a locus are so neat.
nothing here. I need to get inside. Traveler, please join my sacred
Can you
mission.
get off the horse? Thank you.
Just as my strength wavers, the Light Queen sends you to me, a clear sign that I must persist. I lead an order of devotees to Meridia. Have you seen the ruins of Broken Light Temple on the hill? Our mission is its glorious restoration.
How do you plan to restore it?
By surviving the dangers within. You see, the temple collapsed centuries ago. Time hid the reasons. Now, a monstrous sentinel guards it, killing intruders. But locked inside is a font of Meridia's power. That's how I'll restore its former glory.
How will this power help you?
I believe this power can cleanse any dark threats from the temple and restore Meridia's blessing. Then we can rebuild. Until that time, Broken Light Temple remains dangerous. Would you aid me in this sacred task? I can hire you as my defender.
Sure, I'll help you restore the Broken Light Temple.
We must create a way across the bridge to the entrance. That's why I brought a translocation rod. It can repair the gap, but it needs power from a lucent shard. Look in rubble piles around here. I believe Meridia shall provide.
I'd like to learn more about the Broken Light Temple's history.
All that's known of the temple's history comes from vague stories on faded parchment. They say Meridia herself instructed Coralania believers to build the temple here. It collapsed mysteriously centuries ago. I'd love to learn why myself.
What's the nature of this font of power?
The stories we have describe the font in quite poetic terms. Images of water bubbling from a spring are common, as are descriptions of people bathing in its cleansing light. They claimed it can flow for eternity, which I hope is true.
How did the temple get its name?
Sadly, its true name is lost to time. Broken Light Temple is what the people of Solstice called it after the collapse. The name describes the loss of Meridia's blessing quite well. Perhaps we can learn its true name once we go inside.
Tell me about the Coralinas you mentioned before.
We are a clan of High Elves who call Solstice home. They fled Hammerfell centuries ago and settled on this island, though there's more to the story. We revere 3 Daedric princes, but I am devoted exclusively to Meridia's cleansing light.
I'm interested in something else let's see, we're good. Okay, well, come on then. Spider webs! Alright. Oh, she moved down a little?
No luck for me. How's your search? Ah, did you find one? A lucent shard from Broken Light Temple will power the translocation rod while in this area. It should look like a glowing crystal.
Here's a shard that I found in the rubble.
A bit of tinkering. Here we are. It already feels much more powerful. I think we can clear a path now. Since Meridia chose you to help, you should wield the rod. I'll explain how it works. Come with me.
Okay.
Come, up the stairs. Use the rod to capture this rubble here. Just point and it will understand your intent. Success! Now point the rod here to release the stones. Bless the light! You've got it! Now we can cross.
That is super duper cool.
Let's get inside. I'm in here, traveler. You must see this. Incredible. The Great Hall of Broken Light Temple. The glyph on these massive doors. I recognize it. Our goal is through here. I call on Her Lady's brilliance to shine upon... but I'm devoted to Meridia. That should have worked. Look for anything that explains these doors.
That is cool. Click on that in a minute. Varieties of Faith,
scholarship.
Solstice.
I can smell it from
I'm not
here.
going to read all of this. The three queens, Meridia, Azura, and Nocturnal. Meridia is the queen of light, Azura is the queen of dusk, and the Nocturnal is the queen of darkness. Sanguine's Party. It's a song said to be sung at Sanguine's revels. Drink, drink, drink to Sanguine, lord of debauchery, pleasure, and greed. He throws the best parties ever seen. Let us toast to good old Sanguine. Queen Zell revelled at a party thrown by her sister. She danced and drank till the room spun around her, and when morning's light caused a headache to fester, she looked down and saw that she betted the jester. Old Apius Cola was a gentleman at heart, till his unending drinking did start. His rhythm faltered and his footwork stumbled, while he longed to dance. His lovers just fumbled. Now a three-tiered cake is a spectacular sight that everyone who spots craves to take a bite, but eat too much and try to end the night, then Sanguine appears to reignite your appetite. That is Sanguine. We actually had a whole quest about that, where we stumbled across revelers who was doing the party, and they all thought like it was this big joyous event, and really they were dying. Fact of life. A hymn to kind. In darkness your light shines through, warrior goddess. For you we strike true. When hope is lost and war rages on, warrior goddess, hear our blessing song. With the Nord's death fallen in battle, warrior goddess, guide us through shadow. Sorry, voice broke. Guide us through shadow. Grant us courage to fight and sharpen our swords, warrior goddess, mother of Nords. What are we looking at? I'm not reading all of this. It's basically just talking about funerary practices. So I looked out. That's just a discussion of what they... Alright. I'll give it a go. I visited Shieldtide Village, the hub of Tideborn culture, as part of my research and work for the College of Rituals. There I met a young Argonian by the name of Lalahaz. He introduced himself as the Tide Reader's assistant, and while I feel the need to note this seemed to be a self-made title, his eagerness was energizing. We spent hours sitting beneath the opalescent roof of a giant seashell and sipping at a hot, thick brew he called Sawin Otol, a type of green drink, if I understand correctly. Now, in the past, I have found my prodding into Saxlel funerary practices to be met with suspicion, which I can hardly begrudge, but this person was unfazed. Almost immediately, he rattled off a chittering speech about title, votives, and grave stakes before I could put down my drink and to make notes. So if you find there to be inaccuracies of my depiction of the Tideborn funerary practices, please know they were the result of an old elf trying to keep up with a young, well, let us say, cultural ambassador. To best understand how the Tideborn laid their kin to rest, we must start with their adolescence. At a young age, the Tideborn are given to a title votive, a small trinket or talisman that is chosen by those closest to them. This can be a parent, guardian, or even mentor figure, as blood, or rather egg clutch, does not guarantee a deep familial connection. Has, for instance, was gifted a small conch shell by Shawl Tender Noki. Lala explained that this conch was a small hole near its tip that added a soft whistle to the ocean sounds contained in the shell. A reminder that every Tideborn's connection to the tide is their own, and that no two songs sound the same. Once a Tideborn was gifted their votive, they must decide where it will be stored. Often this will not be their residence, but a location of solstice where they feel closest to the tide's song. From flower fields to rocky bluffs to the hatchery or giant seashells that litter the shore. This practice allows the Tideborns to carve out their own places of worship. That the very act of prayer and meditation is itself ephemeral and impermanent. It is likely that you, dear reader, have walked past hidden votives without ever knowing it. Many Tideborn reach a natural and peaceful end, but others are taken too soon. From accidents to storms to numerous forces who have tried to claim solstice as their own. These sudden deaths can leave a Tideborn spirit to wander the island. You see, their votive is meant to accompany the dead in their final moments, so that they may return to the tide with their prayers they've accumulated over their lifetime. When their time nears, the death dancer has been summoned to perform their rites. They entrust a member of the village with the collecting of their votive, and when their death claims them suddenly and they have not entrusted their votive's location to an aidkin, it is up to the death dancer to entreat Sithis for the safe passage of the spirit into the void, or, in rare cases, the summoning of the departed spirits so they may reveal their votive's location, though this practice is known by only a few death dancers and can risk the trapping of these spirits to the land. As I understand it, the Tideborn believe that they are returned to Nirn so that they may give it another chance to reach their destined scales. Whether a Tideborn believes they've achieved such a thing affects the way in which they are buried. An Unguardian who believes they have attained their destined scales will be given a burial not dissimilar to mainland Argonians. A grave stake carved with the Argonian story is plunged into their body, rooting them in a revered burial spot near the Shell Tide village, where they will be remembered in song and prayer. An Unguardian who feels they fell short of their goal will instead have their bodies pinned along the island's sandbars. A grave stake is still used to hold the body in place, but only until the tide and his myriad of creatures can reduce the body to nothingness. An expedient return to the voids that they may cycle begin again. It was at this point, as I looked out across the sea, that I noticed slivers of wood poking out in the distant sandbar, hidden by the tide. Lala's followed my eye, grinning, and said, simply, "Perhaps when they return I will be a tide reader." A sentiment that seemed to neatly capture what I had come to realize about the tide. Its presence is constant in solstice, a rhythm that had come to inform the evenness of my breath and the pace of our conversations. The tide does not rush. It does not stand still. It merely flows in and out. Actually kind of very in-depth, isn't it? Alright, so we've got one thing here.
Followers of Meridia cleanse her enemies by force sometimes.
Our final act. Our faith led us awry. Meridia has withdrawn her blessings from our people. Carisi's ascension to Blessed Sentinel drove High Priest Tomirin mad. This fight between the two jealous lovers only ends in catastrophe for our priesthood and the temple itself. We expect the Radiant One to cleanse the failings of our order by making us all purified. So shall be her will. We priests still trapped inside plan a final act of devotion by securing a powerful cynosure at the heart of this temple. No one other than Meridia's most faithful shall access her strength. We established ritual locks deep inside the Eastern Dawn Wing and Western Purity Wing. Only a true believer in Meridia may perform the ritual of light and undo the locks. Our Lady of Light will judge worthiness for herself. Once the rituals are performed, then these doors shall open. May this protect the power from corruption. May it never fall into the wrong hands.
Does that parchment offer answers? Show me, please.
In a minute. Well, we are true believers of Meridia because she saved us. when we, at the end of Cold Harbor.
The cynosure. That's how the old parchments describe the font of power. It's a focus of Meridia's attention. If jealousy led to the collapse, then purification of the Order is just. The purified are walking embodiments of Meridia's will.
The letter says to perform rituals to unlock the doors.
Yes, a ritual of light in the two wings of the temple. The Dawn Wing to the east, and Purity Wing to the west. It doesn't describe what the ritual involves. I have faith in my devotion to Meridia. We'll figure it out.
Do you know anything about each wing?
I could see from the outside that the Western Purity Wing collapsed long ago. It looked overgrown with plants. The Eastern Dawn Wing appeared intact, though. Maybe we'll see more of the old architecture there. So, what do you think? Purity or Dawn?
Let's start with the Purity Wing.
Collapsed and overgrown it is. I really hope none of the more savage wildlife made a home inside. I'd like this to go smoothly. Either way, I'll meet you inside the Western Wing.
Did I make it to the other side when I was looking at the books? I suddenly am not so sure.
Think I've read that one before.
Me too. I think we just read it, to be fair. Yeah, okay. I made it through.
Let's look for that ritual site. The rod can create paths if we need it, just like outside. I'll search for anything that can help our task. Oh, stay clear of Purified. They will likely be hostile.
I am guessing that the Worm Cult is here to punish Meridia, since this is clearly her island. Meridia honors the temple by providing us with the Blessed Sentinel. The transformation bestows the most devout among us with the power and strength flowing from the Lady of Light herself. In its presence we will feel safe and protected from the island's dark forces. The choosing of new Sentinel occurs when the old one falls in battle. They are effectively immortal, but grievous injury to the body will dispel them. Afterward, their souls linger on without cynosure for eternity. One of our most devout will hear Meridia speak a command to enter the cynosure. Together with the helper of the choosing, they will perform the ritual to unlock the central door. Then the transformation can begin. Some feel despair at losing a friend or a colleague, but those who understand the miracle appreciate the gift we receive. Can I avoid him? Water stain smears the ink into illegibility except for a short section below. Without the strength and faith of High Priest Tomarin, his devotion brought us together to drive out the sea elf invaders with only a few casualties on our side. Meridia's blessed temple once again protected us. It seems obvious to my fellow priests that Tomarin shall eventually ascend to become a Meridia sentinel for the island. We've gone without one for so long that others worry about the resurgence of the forces of death. I calm them by saying we can conquer any threat together. Quietly, I worry about the High Priest's relationship with Kerasi. She's brave, but she's not one of us. Perhaps we... This is a fun new mechanic. I really was trying to avoid you guys. I'm loving this new mechanic. This is a lot of fun. What were you guys doing up here?
Oh, new people. And you still have your minds. Oh, very good.
Hi, you've been...
Incredible. He's a purified who can still speak. But how?
Yes, I can tell you many things. Come, talk.
I will in just a second. Argonians of Western Solstice. Let's see. A report of the Tideborn tribe and their villages that I've made contact with in the name of Stirk Fellowship. The Tideborn are spread across the western shores in loose, porous villages. From my observations, they generally consist of a kind fisherfolk and artisans, but there are a number of distinct sub-tribes and villages to take note of, as detailed below. We have the Shelltide village, a hub for trade and cultural teachings. Shelltide is the largest Argonian settlement on the eastern side of the island and the de facto capital of the Tideborn people. Okay, and then we have the Self-Cured, a fishing group that spends most of their lives on the water in large twin-hulled canoes that feature a platform for living areas spanning the space between the canoes. They generally stick to the reefs in a loose flotilla, but will travel toward deeper water when following the fish. We have the Palm-backed, the Conservatories of Solstice. This roaming group of Tideborn was dedicated their lives to tending the island's sandbars and tidal flats, fearing that one day the island may disappear altogether. If you walk the shoreline and see walking bushes or ambulatory plums, do not fear. It isn't the sun's heat frying your scales. It's merely the island's caretakers planting their cuttings and saplings along the berm's edge. Mahitlo? While I wasn't able to confirm their existence, the other villages tell me that the Mahitlo, their name meaning feathered people, villagers explain that they are extremely reclusive and even keep their distance from other Tideborn. They can sometimes be spotted on the top of palm trees, where their iridescent green feathers keep them hidden from untrained eyes. Locals tell stories of how they have swooped in to save them from beasts, and lately, even cultists. A note on death dancers, or Zolcat. These are not a sub-tribe, but rather a role placed on the scales of a handful of island Argonians. I have met only one in my travels, but he was more than happy to sit and speak with me. T-Rad explained the death dancers act as avatars of death in times of need. Whether that means bringing mercy to the suffering or terminally ill, or justice to the rare few who deemed guilty of crimes befitting death, depends on circumstances and necessity. They do not relish their role as executioners, but understand that it is necessary to the cycle of death, change, and new beginnings on an island where the Hist no longer provides guidance. In its absence, the Death Dancers and Tideborn overall had developed a strong connection to Sithis. Even the Death Dancer's role, of which there are never more than 6 members, is structured so that his reach will never falter, and no Argonian is left in the darkness alone. As I understand it, there are also death dancers among the stone nest of Eastern Solstice, but due to current circumstances, I have yet to meet or talk to any of that tribe. And a note on the Naga. I have noticed a number of Naga scattered among the Tideborn villages, but no evidence of a village or community consisting only of Naga. Moreover, the Argonians grow skittish when I ask why that is. It seems at some point the Naga had a larger population on the island, but over the centuries their numbers have dwindled, and that it wasn't until recently that they accepted into other villages. There are some old writings that mention a Shark-Tooth tribe, which may have once been the home of these Naga, but has since been lost to time and tides. Whew. Okay.
Thought-provoking.
Right?
I was alone for so long, many years. Now you and I speak together. A good thing. I am Temerian. Or was. Perhaps will be again. You explore my home, this great temple. Why did you come here?
The High Priest Ehrman plans to use the power of the Cynosure to restore the temple.
Ah, yes, Lady Meridia's gift. Such power it holds. It creates the Sentinels, did you know? I was to receive its blessing. A deceiver ripped that from me. If you access the Cynosure, yes, you could cleanse the temple, remake it. Very true.
Who is the deceiver that took the blessing?
Carissia. She proclaimed lies of love for me and Meridia, all to gain the Cynosure's power. To become the blessed sentinel. When I realized, I fought back, but I failed. The temple fell and my lady punished me with this wretched half-blessing.
Perhaps Meridia had a higher purpose for you. Maybe she kept you here to help us restore the temple.
Oh, yes, I see that now. Wise words, newcomer. Meridia foresaw the collapse. She made me like this to aid you in the here and now. A ritual unlocks the Cynosure doors. Your high priest can do it. This path leads to the ritual site. I'll meet you there.
If I went the other way, would I have met the Carissia? Now I'm curious. Thank you. We will stay on this path to the ritual site.
Head north, mostly intact. Easiest route to the ritual site.
For a high priest of Meridia, Temerian doesn't seem particularly faithful. If the Lady of Light denied making him a sentinel, his resentment may linger. Let's not be quick to trust him, friend.
He offered to help access the Cynosure.
Why would someone spurned by Meridia want access to a font of her power? He may want to corrupt it somehow. Or maybe he just wants to get back in her good graces. We can use him to unlock the door, but let's remain wary.
Earlier, you referred to Tomerin as purified. How could you tell?
His eyes glow with Meridia's flawless light. That's the sign that Meridia's will has taken over a mortal follower. Usually, their old selves cease to exist. Temerian's story may explain why he's different.
Why do you think he's different?
For a believer, a half-finished state like that would be agony. Burning inside with Meridia's light, but not fully taken. It must feel like complete rejection. I pity Temerian's circumstances, but Meridia's punishments are righteous.
Okay.
The old high priest still lives, and he wants to help us? Very strange. Continue on. I want to explore more of this amazing temple.
Come closer, behind the tunnel gate.
Oh, hold on. Oh my gosh, come on. My helmet was damaged really badly.
Feeling hostility.
Hated that. Hated that with a passion.
And tranquility.
Gross. That was a jump scare, people.
Good. That's one gap fixed. We'll need more rubble for this next one.
Make the path, then go on. The ritual site is
Go on
close.
ahead. I'll join you in a moment. This room is so beautiful.
I'm not trusting Tamarin. He's got a tone that I am not liking. Can I backtrack real quick? I don't know. Guess we'll continue on. Boss
See
fight?
me? Behind the bars. I helped you. You can trust me. Let's talk. Your High Priest can do her ritual here. Unlock the Sinosure doors. Simple. I helped, so listen. I want to join you, be part of restoring the temple. I can protect you and serve Meridia again if you let me.
How would you do that?
You want to open the cynosure. Let me inside. It can make me whole. Meridia will see my devotion. I will become a sentinel like I deserve. We can restore the temple. Build an army of light.
I'll think about it.
You found the ritual site. We can begin.
Consider my offer. We can rebuild the temple. Just let me into the cynosure.
I don't think I'm going to.
Let's discuss what to do next. So Marion may have helped us find the ritual site, but that doesn't mean we should trust him. Put that aside for the moment. I recognize this ritual space. It reenacts the movement of the sun. It's a simple rite. I'll guide you.
How do I start the ritual?
Stop by supplicating on the tile I direct you to. Then I will begin the chant and tell you where to go. When I mention a cardinal direction, you'll need to walk to the appropriate tile. That's it.
Do I need to be a follower of Meridia for this to work? How exciting to worship here in this temple. I hope my faith in Meridia is strong enough. I don't worship Daedra, not Meridia, not any of them. Well, that's definitely a lie. At this point, because of what she did for us in Cold Harbor, of course we believe in her. Duh.
You're a believer? I knew it! Isn't it wonderful? You can feel Meridia's presence, though not as strong as it should be. But put aside your fears about your faith. I'll be the conduit through which her blessed energies flow. Just follow my chant.
Then what happens?
The tiles represent an allegory for the sun, Meridia's brightest light. We must recreate that allegory as you walk the tiles. Once complete, the lock should release.
Okay.
Now, listen to my cues. My lady's brilliance starts in the east, and we carry it north. We then carry it south. And finally, as the sun does, so do we carry the light west. Praise Meridia, we did it. And look, it opened a portal.
Oh, bright light. Bright light.
Now we can explore the Dawnwing to the east. The ritual worked. Half of the ward is down. Compared to the west side, the Dawnwing looked completely intact from the outside. That doesn't mean it's in perfect shape, though. I do hope we get to see some of the old architecture. I'll head inside the eastern wing when you're ready.
Tamarin asks that we let him into the Cynosure. It creates sentinels, and he wants to become one.
I figured that might be his goal. After what he told us earlier, I suspected he'd try to access the Cynosure. We should be careful if we manage to open the doors.
What should we do next?
We go to the Eastern Dawn Wing and hope for the best. I'm worried that the Sentinel mentioned in the old records hasn't appeared yet. Maybe she perished long ago. Hesitating won't help. I know so little about this wing. Let's search for information before we proceed. A priest's lockbox of personal belongings. I can learn about worship practices from long ago. I don't sense any magic on that crystal. Purely decorative. That amulet calls to me. What is it?
Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! You okay?
Mortals who walk these hallowed halls, please hear me out. Connection. My mind has linked to the body of this priest. It feels miraculous. I am Carisia, former priest of Meridia, now the blessed sentinel of this temple. You and this mortal I speak through. Explain yourselves. Why are you here?
High Priest Ehrman wants to access the Cynosure to restore the temple. What have you done to her?
High Priest. Her strong faith must fuel the connection through my old amulet. Through her, I can speak in a way I cannot in my own body. And you want the Cynosure? My fortune continues. That power is the only way to free me.
Tamarin told us you stole his chance to become the Sentinel.
That man sees the Sentinel as a gift. I know now that it binds mortals in eternal service to Meridia. This gift only creates suffering. It needs to be destroyed. We can help each other. Go east along the path. I will return soon.
I'll see you there.
Our interests align, mortal. I will return in the northern hall.
Yeah, are you alright?
I heard what she said. Go ahead, while I take a moment to recover. Such a feeling of intrusion. I could hear the words, feel my mouth move, but was powerless to resist. I feel unwell. Just go ahead. I noticed crumbled walkways. Use the rod again to make a path to the ritual site. I'll be along shortly.
She said she wants to destroy the Cynosure.
I heard. Her words sounded desperate. If the Cynosure binds people into service to Meridia, how could that be bad? I would feel honored. I want to hear more of her tale, but I'd prefer a different method for receiving it.
I'll leave him be.
Look at this chamber. I can imagine what past acolytes felt here.
Hostilities ended. Now to relax.
We're gonna... Libation to Sanguine. Traditional Sanguine revelry song, popular among the revelers of the Rose of Solstice. Pour for me, O Prince of Revels, a cup of pleasure unending. Such sweet succor be not mine, but thine. Cast in shades of deepest red. O Prince of Revels, hear my song. Make of me a vessel of raucous joy, vigorous satisfaction, and carnal delights. Cast in doubts of deepest red, let us feast, O Prince of Revels. In thine honor and thy name, on tender flesh and bed and banquet, cast in shades of deepest red, O Prince of Revels, coursing blood flows freely through our veins into cups and eager mouths, cast in shades of deepest red. I think I did. Hard time attacking there for a second. Letter to Lenorin from her grandfather as she contemplated membership in one of the colleges of Kalium Praxis, collected in one volume for posterity. Lenorin, my dear, I am familiar with the worry that plagues your heart. You have been Nepraxo long enough. It is time for you to select a college to apprentice yourself to. Finding one's purpose can be daunting, and your father has always been one to push for more lucrative pursuits. I should know, as I taught him to think that way from the moment he was old enough to understand the value of my lessons. But now I have come to realize that I was wrong. I want to do better and provide you with better advice. Fortunately, my friends embarked on paths I did not. With their help, I compiled this list of colleges within the Praxis, the premier organization of guilds and societies sponsored by the Regency of Sunport. You'll find their written input as well. There's no one path to contentment and success. Each of the colleges are equal parts professional guild, secret society, lodge, and a place of learning. Follow your heart and seek out that one that speaks to you the most. I hope this helps you, dear granddaughter, and your own place in Sunport society. There's the College of the Sea and Sword, a chance to explore the world beyond the limits of Sunport. The College of Sea and Sword serves as the premier guide for merchants, explorers, and warriors on the island. My name is Mendula. I'm surprised by your grandfather's humility. He made sure to never show that side of himself when we were coming of age. If you wish to get a taste of sea and adventure, mention my name at the port. There's the College of Tomes. You're familiar with this one. Tradition has long held that members of our family pledge themselves to the College of Tomes. Rigorous study and endless practice are the duties of this guild of mages and scholars. Research, rituals, and arcane focus that protects Sunport are the stock and trade of this arcane union. I pursued for the tomes for security, knowledge, and based on because I lacked physical prowess. But for nearly all of our family, it was because someone else had pledged here before us. Know that you can excel in any path with your passion and hard work. There's the College of Gardens. It's a guild of herbalists, agriculturists, and healers, which that may not sound exciting to you, but this guild plays a vital role in the health and well-being of Sunport and the surrounding Solstice countryside. It also maintains cordial relations with our Tideborn neighbors. Some believe this college sprang from our desire to mend the hurt our clan inflicted, but prior to arriving on Solstice and when we first settled here, do not discount any apprenticeship here out of hand. Your grandfather's words were a surprise to me, but I'm happy he's finally starting to see reason. We are a society of farmers, healers, and herbalists. The true, but more than that, we're cultivating the future path of our clan. If you have the patience and dedication required, then please join us. The College of Stone, this is builders, crafters, and artisans of all descriptions, comprise the members of this important guild. Its roots date back to our clan's earliest days in Somerset, to when we took possession of parts of Hammerfell in the First Era. Today, members of the guild are responsible for expanding and maintaining Sunport's infrastructure, as well as creating art and trade goods for market. From what I understand, the college expanded beyond just one stone long ago. I'll let my friend explain. Our guild began as a society of stoneworkers, yes, but we have long since encouraged aspiring artisans to craft with whatever material suits their purpose. Stone for us means solid and well built in whatever medium we choose to employ. And then there is the College of Rituals. As you know, the reason I've compiled this list is to help you choose your own path. Hence, I've included the College of Rituals for the sake of completeness. Personally, I never want you anywhere near this group, but I'll explain shortly. This college serves as the keepers of tradition and law, and most of its members are incredibly devoted to the ideals of legislation and the rule of law. While they help the regent govern Sunport, rumors abound that a certain element within the guild still entertains traditions that the clan abandoned long ago. That certain forces in their leadership want to see a return to our darker Daedric and necromantic past. Is this true? I have no idea, but I'd rather not have you unknowingly walk into a viper's nest. No such conspiracy exists, Lawkeeper Venery. And my granddaughter, tell me what you finally decide, or reach out if you want to talk more. Well, that was kind of sweet of Grandpa. He's like, I want to help you.
Let it sit with you. Novel.
I like how his voice gets distance when we're further apart. I will read those parts in a different time. That's a lot of reading. And we didn't find them in any specific order, so that sucks too.
Good job clearing the way. I think we're close. The wonders of this wing are amazing. Keep searching for the ritual site. I'll catch up.
Oh, Shnikey, you scared me, Mr. Spider. It's probably Miss Spider, but still, that's a jump scare. Spiders. Ooh. That's a flashy white light you just threw at me, dude.
Wait, friend. I feel Corussia taking control again.
Halt! We must speak before you proceed.
You approach the ritual site. Here, you will unlock one of the Sinoshore's doors. I must warn you, I am inside. As the Blessed Sentinel, I serve Meridia's will. When you enter, I will attack. I cannot control my actions.
We need to access the Cynosure. If you're in the way, I must defeat you.
You misunderstand. I pray for my defeat. You must perform the unlocking ritual. But if the Sinosure remains, the Sentinel's energy lingers and eventually reforms, so you must destroy it. You cannot allow other monstrous beings to gain its power.
Tamarin warned us not to trust you. He accused you of betrayal.
That worm blames me for a choice that belonged to Meridia alone. She saw his arrogant, self-serving plans. He was a glutton for power and wished to use the Sinosure to control others. It's imperative that you destroy it, so he does not succeed.
This sounds similar to how you're controlling Aramin. I understand your desperation, but it hurts her.
What I do here is necessary. I regret her suffering, but there is no other way. The urgency of my warning about the Sinosure was more important than a single priest's discomfort. Enter the ritual site. See the cost of Eramine's desire. Prepare yourself for battle!
Okay.
That's it! Enough. Just make it stop. She's in there? Defending the ritual site, I guess. We should get ready. I sympathize with her. She made me very familiar with how it feels to lose control of your own body. Can't believe she'd inflict it on someone else. A lot to think about.
Are you ready to fight Sentinel Caricia?
When my mission to Broken Light Temple began, I didn't expect to battle against my lady's blessed servants. I quietly believed Meridia would guide me safely to the Sinosure. Suppose I was wrong about many things.
What else were you wrong about?
I always thought that giving over one's will to Meridia would feel joyous. I imagined the Purified felt perfect at all times. Now, with Caricia's possessions, I question that. I still believe in our task, though. Let's get in there.
Okay.
By the light! Sentinel Caricia, up!
Onward and upward!
Fight! If you want to perform the ritual, you must fight hard. I can feel her will grip my mind. She moves my lips. This shell will fall. You must hurry.
My goodness.
Before I reform. Get in my shield, quickly!
Do I need to?
I'm glad we prevailed over Sentinel Caricia. She possessed immense power and had such little control over it. Seeing her makes me question the purpose of the Sinosure. I have a lot to think about. In the meantime, let's complete this ritual.
Is this like the other ritual?
For the most part, you stand on the center tile and follow my instructions. Let me funnel the energy to you. This ritual's metaphor is different, however.
How so?
This looks like an allegory for a constellation of stars. I've read works about Meridia's connection to stars, but I consider it heresy. I can remember enough to recreate the constellation, though. Don't worry, I'll tell you which way to go.
Okay.
Now follow along.
The constellation of Our Lady rises in the west. We draw a line to the eastern star. Then, to the north, the link is made to the south. That did it. One successfully completed ritual. I know that Carissa is still around here somewhere. We'll likely see her again before too long. I believe this portal will return us to the Great Hall. Meet me there. Marion, stop! We need to discuss this! Light blind him. He just burn his eyes. I knew we couldn't trust that scoundrel. We still need to figure out what to do about the Cynosure. Telmarian as a blessed sentinel worries me more than Carissa.
What worries you about it?
He would become the sentinel we fought earlier, but stronger, more power-hungry, filled with spite. He truly believes Meridia chose him, and he was cheated out of his destiny. In service to my lady, I will try to stop him. I must destroy the Cynosure.
How do we do that?
That part, I don't know. We have no idea what's actually behind those doors. You and I have solved everything together. We'll figure this part out too. Let's get in there. What is he doing in there? Hurry, let's get inside.
Okay, let's do this.
Telmarian, no! We need to get over there and stop him! Telmarian, stop this! You don't understand!
I understand everything. I will gain what I am owed. Meridia, give me your strength!
He channeled all of the power into himself.
It's too late! Meridia blesses me as her new sentinel!
Destroy these?
You must destroy him. I'll protect you like last time. I raised the shield for you.
More creatures! Can't you see? Now I am the light!
Here's a shield to protect you.
I am Meridia's purifying hand! A weapon to cleave through the dark!
Why did she set those portals so far away?
By Meridia's power!
We must
How
destroy the
reformed
Cynosure. It's too powerful.
in
Use the rod to
time.
remove the orbs from the pillars.
I'm trying really hard. Oh, there must be an order.
Look, the sentinels appeared in front of the statue.
This sacrifice protects many others.
I'll meet her glory in the colored rooms.
I thought it was gonna make me choose between destroying it or not.
It's time to go.
centuries. I am finally free.
You did it! Let's leave here. We'll talk in the Great Hall.
Can I keep the thing that makes the paths, please? I really liked it.
Friend, over here. I can't believe it. I found the Cynosure at the heart of Broken Light Temple, and I destroyed it. Wait until I tell the rest of my order. No regrets, though.
You don't mind losing access to the Font of Power?
The stories lied. That Font of Power protected the temple by binding priests into servitude. I saw how it twisted people and destroyed their love. I don't want to perpetuate that. I don't understand why Meridia wanted that either.
What happens next?
You go on your way with a good story and some coin. I gather the rest of my faithful and see what I can do to put Meridia's light to good use. Oh, and I take my rod back. Despite the outcome, I'm glad to have learned all we did, friend. I need to gather my acolytes in Sunport. I think we can rally the rest of the faithful and start something new. A priory or a chapel or something. Small and honoring to her brilliance. Nothing quite as grand as this old temple.
Will you still rebuild the temple?
I still feel dedicated to build something. Probably not here, but I'll honor Meridia in some way. My order will gather in Sunport and decide what comes next. I have high hopes. It may not be as grand as a temple, but it will be pure.
Good luck.
And you as well, friend. Feel free to find me in Sunport after this. It will do my spirit well to see you still thriving.
That was fun. I thought for sure it was gonna make me like choose between who I was gonna save and or breaking the power, but oh, this way. I'm composed and turned around. Alright, I guess in the next one, we will, finally get to Gabrielle and see what's going on with her. Thanks for keeping me company, and I'll be back soon with another episode.